As you know, this MPC or the CBN has released the MPC calendar for this year starting in February. Now, we have heard the central bank governor speak at a number of events where he's sort of giving clues as to what direction the MPC could potentially take this year. If there's one thing he said, is that there will be more focus on in fighting inflation, ensuring price stability, and also he has also mentioned or hinted, if you were, that there will be less deficit financing for the fiscal authorities this year. But opinions are mixed in terms of what direction the MPC could take also. But I'd like to hear your opinion, just hearing that the calendar is out, the first time in 6 months, and how the MPC would proceed from here.
Thank you, Esther. The fundamental thing about Yemi Cardoso's pronouncements since he came into the governorship of the central bank is that the central bank would now go back to the orthodox, rational principles of what the central bank ought to be doing, which is basically what you've listed there: prioritize inflation, fighting of inflation, price stability, and by so doing, whatever actions the MPC meeting does would then channel into the economy. And I think that is a breath of fresh air. The other thing that had happened in the previous administration of the central bank is the unorthodox nature. Even the bankers sometimes do not know how their CRR are determined. In fact, there was the introduction of discretionary CRR, which basically means that when they see a large amount of money coming into a bag, the central bank mops it up. So even though technically it is 32.5%, the central bank in the previous administration or the previous central bank administration had been, for banks, it is far higher than the 32.5 that had been announced. I think what we're going to see is most definitely for the remainder of the year, a more orthodox policy and an anticipated rational reaction to market forces. In fact, I have seen some analysts, including both domestic and international, anticipating a slight increase in the first meeting, which is to say that anywhere from 200 to 500 basis points increase in the MPR may actually happen. And that's in anticipation of the fact that in the last 6 months, inflation had been ratcheting up, whereas there hasn't been much in terms of monetary policy in other than the mopping up and other than the OMO windows in terms of those dynamics in trying to reduce the risks of inflation. But with the MPC meeting scheduled for a month from now, what we anticipate is that the central bank will do its best in what is expected of the central bank, which is to begin to handle or tackle the issue of inflation and, of course, maintain price stability.